Hello students, how are you all? Today some structures of oxo acids of sulfur we are going to start. So oxo acids of sulfur. What are the oxo acids we know about sulfur? H2SO3, sulfurous acid. Okay. What is the structure of this one? See, always you can remember phosphorus. Phosphorus always having the double bond O, the same way sulfur. Okay. Then one side we have one OH, other side another OH. Okay. Then H2SO4, our acid. Okay. This is forming one more oxygen. So here you make it another double bond. Okay. Then thiosulfuric acid H2S2O4, sorry, O3. See this structure, we have one more of sulfur. Now how will you write the structure? See the same structure, you just make it one of the oxygen into sulfur, right? Then dithiiosulfurous acid. See H2S2SO4, H2S2O4. See, you just remember H2SO3, H2SO4, H2S2O3, H2S2O4. Just we are following the order. Okay. For this, how do you write? Here we have 2 sulfur. So first you write 2 sulfur along with double bonded O. What are the remaining? 2O, 2H. Both sides you can make it OH2. And then we are going to take H2S2O5. Here we are going to add one more oxygen. So here we want to add one more oxygen. So from any one of the sulfur you make it another double bonded O, right? Then H2S2O7. You can remember this structure. What is the name of this compound? We have special name for that. That is nothing but oleum. H2S2O7. For this 2 sulfur, usually it will have double bonded O, right? How many hydrogens? 2 hydrogen. So 2 OH will form. Then 2O, 2O. Totally 4 O we have utilized, right? Remaining we have 3. If you even make it double bonded O, we have one more O. That's why in between sulfur you have to make it, right? Otherwise simply S double bond O, S double bond O between O. Then one side one OH, another side another OH, right? Then peroxy monosulfuric acid H2SO5. H2SO4 we know that only oxygen we are adding excess. Then what will happen? For H2SO4, how will you write? HOS double bond O OH. This is the structure of H2SO4. In this structure, one more oxygen is there. You add this oxygen in any one side of oxygen, sulfur. In between, you have to add this oxygen. Okay, H2S5, SO5. And then H2S2O8. H2S2O8. So, this is H2S2O7. So, only one oxygen we have, etc. So, here you make it another oxygen. That's all. You just compare the structure to remember easily. At last H2S2O6. Suppose we have 2 oxygen less means that's all. Then polythioacid, that means any number of sulfur it may come. So we have the general formula H2S2N plus 1 N plus 2 and then O6, right? So here what is N value? Actually here's some mistake I hope. Depending upon sulfur we have to write. Okay, then how do you write the structure? HO, yes, double bond O, double bond O, and then in between also we have sulfur depending upon the N value. Then yes, double bond O, yes. So this like structure you can write for any number of sulfur it comes. So when the sulfur increases, only the S in between the sulfur will increase. Now the next family, what is the next family? Yes, 17th group family, halogens. What do you mean halogens? Halogens means it is called named because of salt producer. It will easily form salt with other compound. That's why we are telling that is salt producer halogens. Halogens means salt producer. What are the elements? You know very well: fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. Yes. So particularly occurrence of fluorine. So fluorine, it is very highly reactive because of smaller size. It is more reactive. Even the halogen, all elements are more reactive other than astatine. As. Okay, this is arsenic, astatine. Okay, yes. First we are going to see about the source of fluorine. So fluorine we are getting as a fluorospar. Fluorine we can get as a fluorospar or fluoroapatite as a phosphate compound. Phosphate compound comes means we will call it apatite. See some other ores, cryolite, and then the same fluoroapatite, like all the compounds they are telling. Then chlorine, this is about fluorine. What about chlorine? Everyone know that it is obtained from sodium chloride from the sea water. Can you remember what is sodium chloride? Yes, our table salt. Yes. Then bromine and then iodine we can get from the same sea water. At first we are going to discuss about the physical properties. Melting point, boiling point, you can follow as per the table, right? Is there any exceptional means arsenic, that astatine is an radioactive element, I hope. Then now we are going to see about chlorine. Chlorine also highly reactive, we know that, but which is not occur in free form, does not form as a free form. You cannot see as a chlorine gas separately. Okay, because of high reactive, they are always combined in nature. Then now we are going to prepare the chlorine compounds. Okay, so chlorine, already I told you, from sodium chloride you can prepare. So the sea water, sodium chloride, with the presence of a manganese dioxide is acting as a catalyst. We are adding sulfuric acid. Sodium chloride with sulfuric acid in the presence of catalyst MnO2 will give chlorine gas. How? From this 4 chlorine, you just remove Cl2 first, because our expected product Cl2. Remaining we have 2 more Cl. We can write MnCl2, manganese chloride. Now tell me what are the remaining. There are 4 Na, 4 SO4, NaSO4. Then here not sodium sulfate, sodium bisulfate, NaHSO4. So 4 moles will go out. So out of 8 hydrogen, we remove 4. What about remaining 4? We have remaining 4 hydrogen, 2 oxygen. So we can write H2O. Okay, so you must know how to balance this reaction. This is very important. And then you can prepare by reacting with some other oxides of metal like lead oxide with hydrochloric acid. Here various oxidizing agents we can use to prepare the chlorine. First, lead oxide, BbO2 with 2HCl. Cl2 we want to remove. So always you write the expected product first. It is easy to understand. Then what will be the remaining? You just write here. We have to take 4 moles, right? Cl2 is removed. Remaining we have 2 more Cl. Along with this lead, we can remove lead chloride. And then what are the things are remaining? 4 hydrogen, 2 oxygen. So 2 moles of water. Then manganese dioxide, MnO2 plus 4HCl. As usual, write the Cl2. What's the remaining? MnCl2. 4 hydrogen, 2 oxygen. 2 moles of water. Okay. Then some oxidizing agent like potassium permanganate or potassium dichromate also helps to removing the chlorine. So 2 moles of KMnO4 with sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid. Yes. Then as usual 2K 2Cl. 2KCl will go out. Then Mn 2MnCl2 will go out. How many chlorines are left out? 2 plus 4, 6 over. So remaining 10. So 5 Cl2 we can remove. 16. 8 oxygen, 16 hydrogen. So 8 H2O. Water you can remove it. Always compare hydrogen oxygen to remove water. And then potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7. Here how much moles of hydrochloric acid? As usual 2K 2Cl 2KCl. And then Cr2. How will form the chromium chloride? Cr2Cl3 or CrCl3. There are 2 options, Cr2Cl3 or CrCl3. Here CrCl3, so 2 chromium, 2 chromic chloride is formed. 6 plus 2, 8 chlorine were removed. How many chlorines are left out? Out of 14, 8 removed means 6. So 3 moles of Cl2 will form. 14 hydrogen, 7 oxygen, so 7 moles of water. Okay. The next reaction. How? Bleaching powder. What is the molecular formula for bleaching powder? Calcium oxychloride. CaOCl2. Calcium oxychloride is treated with 2HCl. It will form calcium chloride, then water. Remaining it will form as a chlorine gas. So calcium chloride with water, the remaining Cl2. And then react with sulfuric acid, same bleaching powder. React with 1 mole of H2SO4. Calcium sulfate will form CaSO4. Then there is 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, water will form. Remaining we have Cl2. So see, we have prepared Cl2 chlorine from the bleaching powder. Now the manufacture of chlorine. See, we followed many reactions, but particularly in laboratory we may have the process to extract more yield in the chlorine. So for that we are going to follow 2 methods. One is electrolysis of seawater, that is well known method. Okay. Another one is Deacon's process. So we are going to see 2 processes to separate the chlorine from the seawater. Okay. The first process we are going to take electrolysis. So electrolysis means we will take anode, cathode, everything. You must remember seawater. We will take anode, cathode. Here we have to take brine solution. Okay. Cathode, anode. Now what will happen if you pass the current? First, sodium chloride, it is present in the seawater, will ionize into Na plus Cl minus. Water also is there, H2O. It will decompose into H plus OH minus. Now this Na and OH will form sodium hydroxide, NaOH. What other things are left out? H plus Cl minus. In cathode, am I right? Yes, in cathode. This is important, my dear students, where the reaction takes place, cathode or anode. Cathode, hydrogen ion accepting one electron forms H. So two hydrogen combine into hydrogen gas, it is escaped. Chlorine at anode, Cl minus gives one electron becoming Cl. So Cl plus another Cl will give Cl2. So we will get hydrogen gas as well as chlorine gas. The next process, Deacon's process. So what is Deacon's process? Here we are going to treat that hydrochloric acid in the presence of with oxygen, and also we have apparatus like this. There are so many beds which is covered with cuprous chloride. Am I right? Yes. Cu2 Cl2. So what are the things we have to take? The mixture of hydrochloric acid as well as oxygen is passed over the apparatus which contains that Deacon's apparatus with the cuprous chloride. The temperature is important at Kelvin 273 Kelvin, but degree in the equation given 400. Somewhat there is a difference, but averagely we can say 400 degrees Celsius. What type of reaction will take place? O2 in the presence of cuprous chloride with 400 degrees Celsius. Cl2, then O2 will form. So for balancing purpose, 2 hydrogen, if you 4 hydrogen, 2 oxygen, 2 H2O. What are the remaining? Cl2. Okay, but we are straightly written that reaction. You know the beauty of this reaction, actually it is help of cuprous chloride only we are obtain that chlorine. So how we will see now. At first step, what happened? That cuprous chloride with oxygen, it becoming cuprous oxychloride. Further, it is decomposed with 2 moles of HCl. What will happen? Cupric chloride will form 2 CuCl. Remember, my dear students, cuprous chloride Cu plus cupric Cu2 plus. Then 1 mole of water. This cupric chloride CuCl2 further decomposed into cuprous chloride with chlorine gas. This is our expected product, chlorine. So we may see that cuprous chloride only written on the arrow mark, so we may think that is not acting as a reactant, but that is the main reactant to produce chlorine. Physical properties. It is a pungent irritating gas. Okay, if you smell, it will irritate. Okay, and also very important, my dear students, it is greenish yellow color. Greenish yellow. Then unknowingly if you inhale more amount, it may create fatal. Fatal means what? We may die. And then it is heavier than air, 2.5 times heavier than air. Chlorine soluble in water. We know that because maximum of halogens are soluble in water. If you dissolve with water, that is called chlorine water. If you dissolve the bromine with water, bromine water, right? Then it will deposit as a crystal, forming hydrated chlorine. So with water, it may form crystals by the formation of hydrated salt, and then it having melt, it can convert it into liquid as well as crystal based on their melting point and boiling point. Now we are going to see some reactions of chlorine. At least we will see with metals and non-metals alone. Okay. Yes. First, sodium with chlorine. Everyone can write. What will be the product? 2 NaCl. Na plus Cl, NaCl. With iron, ferric chloride, and then with aluminium, what will happen? Aluminium chloride. With copper, cupric chloride. Then with hydrogen gas gives hydrochloric acid. This is an exothermic reaction. That's why delta H value is given minus 44. Minus means exothermic. Plus value if you get endothermic reaction. Kilocalorie in unit. Then with bromine, non-metal. Bromine with Cl2. What will be the product? Bromine chloride. Say boron chloride. What is the oxidation state? 3. So 3. So here you make it like this. Then react with sulfur. S plus Cl2. What will happen? S2Cl2. Then phosphorus. P4 6Cl2. This already we have seen the same lesson. It will produce phosphorus trihalide. Next, with arsenic. How many Cl3? That oxidation state of arsenic plus 3. That's why 3 we have to take. Arsenic chloride. At last with antimony. It will give antimony chloride. So remaining chemical property we'll see in the next video. Thank you.